Hello, everyone. I understand that everyone is here for a while, and there's been a lot of talk around like how the M-particle system kind of works and like big data and everything. But it's so difficult to imagine without actually seeing how let's say a customer is using the platform real time, right? So I'm here to quickly take you through the platform and show you some real use cases. So we are one of the M-particles clients, so I won't take much long, but just to ask a quick question, how many data points do you think we are collecting in a month? Let's say we are having about 4 million users at the moment. So just take a wild guess. Like, what do you think would be the number of events we are capturing from all of our user base in a month? Sorry? 8 billion. Okay. Any other guess? And so we so far have just decided to send close to 10% of our actual planned data. So at 10%, we are at close to 200 million. So 8 billion is a way too much information, but we might potentially get there once we roll it out for 100% of our user base. But this is where we are at the moment, right? This is basically data in and data out. So we are sending less information, but we are extracting a lot more information through our input tools and to different platforms. Moving on, so basically, I'll give you a quick introduction of Luno. So Luno is a cryptocurrency wallet. We basically make simple and easy for people to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum in a fastest manner. A part of it is also we make sure that people are educated and all of the things around cryptocurrencies. In short, our theory is to help upgrade the world to a better financial system. We personally believe that the current financial system is quite broken and disconnected, and there's a lot of things that needs to be fixed. So we want to make sure that we come up with this new financial system that will help anyone and everyone to exchange money, send money to someone in a different location in an instant without having to pay for, let's say, conversion fee and all of these factors. Moving on, so I won't take much long. I'll skip through stuff, but this is just to give you a quick example of how technology has evolved. Let's say if you take, let's say, back in those days when we have like, let's say, mobile phones, back in those days, people exchanging messages from like big machines to now obviously sending messages over the WhatsApp or calling, making a WhatsApp call, let's say. Yeah, so this is just to show you that how different technologies have evolved. However, when it comes to financial system, I think 100 years ago, we are still exchanging money in terms of coins and let's say paper money, and I think even now we are doing the same thing. So there's not much radical change that has happened, but that's set to change now. Like you can see like a lot of these challenger banks, right? Like Monzo, Revolut, and all these banks coming into the picture and making peer-to-peer transactions super instant and super fast. But then cryptocurrency is next version after like challenger banks. But having said that, each industry has to go through a phase. So right now the industry is going through a phase of people moving into like a new form of digital banking technology, but then people will further evolve into going into like cryptocurrency, which is like a, let's say, a global currency that people would be using pretty soon. So I won't take much time here. It's just to show you like what are the things we are looking at and how things have evolved and what we are planning to do here at Luno. Again, skipping through the slides. This is what we offer to our customers right now. So we offer wallet and exchange. Wallet is for people who don't really know how trading works, let's say, and exchange is for the people who trade cryptocurrencies real time on different on our exchange platform. We also offer a learning portal, and we also help people store their cryptocurrencies on our wallet in our cold storage, basically. Now moving on. So obviously, each and every company goes through challenges, right? So, and we kind of go through our own set of unique challenges. But before M-particle, these were the challenges we come through, right? And this is something we wanted to address as well. One of the biggest challenge we had was, how do we protect ourselves from getting hacked, right? Like you hear from a lot of news that cryptocurrency is getting hacked every month, from somewhere or the other, right? So how do we make sure that in an event of hack, how we protect our customers' information? So while we protect ourselves a lot, often some of the cryptocurrency companies got hacked through like integration with third-party platform, right? So we need to be super fast and agile to make sure that we protect ourselves and as well as information where we are sending. And the solution is basically, it's just a switch of a button, right? So we integrate with a lot of these platforms. Let's say we are using LeanPlum as our CRM platform. And if someone, let's say, hacks LeanPlum, and the CRM platform has all of our customer information, right? Which means technically, these hackers can access our customers' data and reach out to them and potentially steal their cryptocurrencies easily. So for us, it becomes super important that if we got to know the LeanPlum got hacked, we can literally go into mParticle and just switch off the button and all the data gets stopped immediately. In the past, what used to happen is you have to, like, as soon as you, let's say, got to know that LeanPlum got hacked, you have to first get rid of the SDK that's in the Luno app, which means you have to publish an app to the App Store and Play Store and get 100% of the users to update the app and then remove the app. And like, it's a long process. It takes at least 3 weeks. By then, it's too late, right? So that protects us near instant. The couple of other things are like disconnected customer experience. So right now we have like different customer experience on, let's say, mobile versus app, and the data attributes that we use on different platforms are different as well. My colleague, my friend talked about like taxonomy, right? So this was super important. Like, I'll give you a quick example. On a payments page, we have something called, on a website, it's like, web payments, and then on app, for Android, again, payments, Android screen, there's payment, iOS screen, then payment, Android, iOS screen, click off button, then there's like a massive length of these data, right? If there is a way, ideally for us, the customer should be unified view, right? Which means we have to just look at, okay, payment screen or payments credit card screen or whatever, right? It need not be like by platform, by different user type and all that stuff. So mParticle kind of helps us switch that data between these different platforms together in a unified manner. And then the other thing is engineering resource time. This is one of my biggest pain point I have experienced in all my career. This is like 6th or 7th company where every time I work, because I'm into growth hacking, so I had to work with a lot closely with engineering and product team, which means I need to nag them all the time to implement an SDK, to implement a tool, and all that stuff. So with mParticle, if we implement mParticle's SDK onto our platform, because they are connected into like hundreds of different tools, I can just like decide which tool I want to experiment at least, and then switch on the button, send the data that's needed, and then try it for some time. If it works, I'll continue with the tool. Otherwise, I'll move on to another tool, right? So that saves a lot of time, a lot of back and forth between the product and engineering team as well. Limited dynamic audience segmentation. Again, I won't get too much into detail. Basically, it's like we want to send the data to, let's say, LeanPlum, which is our CRM platform, obviously. So in the past, we used to like literally update the entire database through Postman API scripts, which was like a really lengthy process. But again, through mParticle, I can just like switch on the button, select the events I want, and all of that information is there already. And I think unified data schema is pretty much self-explanatory. So I'm going to take 3 specific examples and then show you like what we are actually doing now. The first one is using mParticle to build our data lake and audience segmentation. The second one is the CRM and how we are using in CRM side of things. And the third one is how are we using mParticle to actually drive the performance, right? So this is real data. Actually, this is my information. So we built the data lake, and this is based on the audience segmentation. So you can see like each and every data point that's available, it's captured in the system. So this is from our SDK, from our backend, from website, from apps, all the sources put together, right? Obviously, I had to hash some of the data. And then this is how we actually look at a customer in a unified view, right? So the system literally tracks each and every movement, each and every transaction, everything I interact with the platform, right? Obviously, because I use iOS a lot, so it's showing up here, but whenever I log into like website or do something on some other platform, that kind of shows up as well with a chronological order in time sequence. And I can literally select each and every event and then look further into the details in terms of what events has been shared across. Cool. So, and then this is the example I was talking about. So, for example, we have LeanPlum, Amazon S3 server, and Google Analytics, right? So I can go into each and every event, and I can pick up like one specific event and decide what event I want to send to what platform, right? This is super, super powerful because then you are literally, you don't want to send all the events to all the platforms at the same time, right? So you literally pick and choose and selectively send the data. This helps a lot in even the platform as well. Like for example, LeanPlum, I don't really need to keep a track of all of the user interface interactions, right? So that's why we switch that off. But they're like almost 1,800 row items here, through which we kind of go through and decide which events we need to pass and forward it to these platforms. Moving on to the second point, so this is what we do from a CRM point of view, right? So we integrate, so we have two options. So one is creating an audience segment here through mParticle itself and forward that audience segment into LeanPlum, our CRM platform, or send the actual raw data into LeanPlum itself and then create the audience segmentation on that platform. So these are the two options we have, and we kind of play around with these two options at times. I can share more details around the benefits of creating an audience segment on mParticle as compared to, let's say, LeanPlum. But yeah, so this is just to show you that data. And also on LeanPlum, you can see like total amount of users. And if I select certain events here, it will show you dynamically what is the percentage of users I'm trying to reach out to, right? And also what we do is we use CRM data from a customer success point of view as well. So we obviously, in cryptocurrency space, customer support becomes like the crucial aspect, which means our customer success team needs to know what sort of communications are going to each and every customer, right? In order to deliver, let's say, the best customer experience. Let's say if a customer has signed up and we've sent from a marketing point of view, send them like a voucher code or something, but if the customer success team doesn't know about it, then it's not the best customer experience, right? Like customer would obviously raise a ticket and these guys would not know, they will respond, I don't know about that, maybe you need to check again or something like that. But what we have done is we used mParticle to send each and every email that we send to our customer back into our backend servers. So then the customer success team, they can literally go into this console. This is actually the view our customer success team looks at. They can look by, let's say, my email ID or whatever. If I raise a ticket, they will look at all the historical communication or push notifications that has gone through that particular customer. So they can click on it, they can open, and they can literally see the email that has been sent to them as well, or the push notification, and so on and so forth. So this becomes super, super powerful when you're trying to deliver the best customer experience throughout the different channels. Moving on to the third and last part, this is basically what we have done on mParticle. So we've literally created like audience segmentation and exported that onto Facebook. So these are like, for example, mParticle EU level 2 customers, mParticle EU level 3 customers, and all of that. So this is a dynamics audience segmentation, which means it's real time, it's breathing, it's updated on a real time on Facebook platform directly as well. Now, this is on mParticle, and this is the exact data what we see on Facebook as well. So these are the events, the last 5 rows that has forwarded from mParticle. However, we also do a lookalike of those users as well on Facebook. So basically what we are doing is we are retargeting all the existing customers based on certain events they have done or not done. And then we also reach out to customers who are lookalike of our existing customers and do a new user acquisition campaigns for those set of users. So this is really powerful if you think about it, right? So this is real time happening. And previously we used to literally upload the customer segment manually every time. And this is like the fastest way we can upload the customer segment. Obviously I've pretty much has the data around the size of the audience, but some of the audiences were like super massive actually. So this helps us scale at a massive, massive rate, right? So all this is good, but what is it actually doing in terms of the performance of our campaigns, right? So well, this is what is happening in our real performance. So if you look at it, obviously I've hashed a lot of information, but from Jan this year until July, this is the conversion events. So basically, we have cost per email verify, which is basically all those users who are signed up and verified their email account. And this is nothing but our North Star metric, which is cost per upgrade. So what's so interesting is like when we started, like cost per email verify was about $13. Now it's almost half of the actual, the cost per email verify to $7.9. Obviously, I've also mentioned some real numbers, so you know that this is not a fake data, let's say. But this is pretty much about it from my side. Thanks, everyone.
Hi everyone. So pleasure to be here. Thanks mParticle for inviting me along. So my name is Richard. I manage partnerships for Adjust across EMEA. And I've got about 8 slides. I realise I'm standing in the way of potentially beers and pizza, so I'll rattle through these as quickly as I can to give you a bit of an overview of what Adjust is, how we work with mParticle, and where we fit within the mobile ecosystem. So what is Adjust? Adjust is a mobile measurement company. Ultimately, we tie engagements, clicks or impressions through to installs to help our clients make better marketing decisions with their marketing channels. We are 7 years old, founded in Berlin, approximately 350 employees across 15 different countries at the moment, and the scale is continuing to grow. So what do we do as a business? So like I touched on, we tie clicks, impressions, or views, so to speak, with installs for our clients. So that ultimately means they get the ability to measure, analyze, and also protect all of their marketing channels and efforts within one unified marketing platform. We work with over 1,700 partners, mParticle being one of those, and just over 3,000 clients, which equates to about 25,000 apps that have the Adjust open source SDK integrated within their platform. So what is attribution? Obviously, it's a term that's pushed around the ecosystem quite regularly, but I just wanted to make clear what that means for us at Adjust. So attribution is matching an engagement with an install. So this is just a pretty basic workflow of how attribution works at Adjust. So you'll see from the top left, a partner of ours, an ad network in this case, is delivering an ad to an end user. The user then clicks on that ad, and our SDK will deliver that user through to the designated app store in order for them to hopefully install the app. As soon as the app is installed and opened is the critical point here, our SDK will ultimately awaken for us to tie the user who clicked on the ad to the user who has opened that app at a later stage. By doing this, we're able to attribute the effectiveness of that original ad through to the install of that specific user. So we're able to determine that if a client is running a marketing campaign with dozens of different marketing channels, Facebook, Google, however it might be, our technology is able to tie a specific install for that user to the specific marketing campaign that drove that individual install. Once the attribution has been made, if applicable, we're able to share all of this data within the Adjust dashboard, but also more importantly for our more sophisticated clients, we're able to share all of this back to them via real-time callbacks in their own internal BI systems. Or if they use external cloud-based systems such as AWS, again, this can all get pinged to them in real time via that method. So what is the impact of attribution? So ultimately what our tool allows our customers and clients to do is to have one SDK that does all the heavy lifting on behalf of them. So like I mentioned, we have 1,700 or so partners integrated with us. So what our platform gives our clients is the stability and transparency to understand that we, as an unbiased referee in the marketplace, are able to look across all the marketing channels that a client is running either user acquisition or re-engagement with, and leave it up to us to decide which one of those engagements led to that install. Beyond that, we're able to look at in-app analytics post-install. So we're not just understanding the installs that were driven from the specific marketing channels, but we're beginning to understand which of those users are driving the highest amount of value for that specific client. So talking about lifetime value, return on ad spend, and then being able to bucket those users to re-engage them within the platform. So attribution is the core of our product. Like I say, we're 7 years old, and that still today consists of the main selling point for our clients. But as we have evolved and as the market has evolved, we've introduced additional tools for our clients. So analytics and reporting is something I just touched on a few moments ago. So this is a big part of our product suite that allows clients to not only see where their users have come from, but what they do post-install. So we have the ability for our clients to set up bespoke events within their apps to understand what users are reaching what part, whether that's a certain level in a game, whether that's a certain amount of revenue spent, whether they've jumped in a taxi with Uber, whatever that event may be, our clients are able to register all of those processes within the platform. Beyond that, unlimited data access is a key part of our sell. So Adjust sits on our own data centers, our own servers, so we're able to store data for our clients for an unlimited period of time, provided they continue to be a client of ours, of course. So what that gives them the ability to do is understand users' original journey to the point of install, understand what they've been doing post-install, but also not forget about them, and that's the most important thing. So users quite frequently will obviously download, interact, and then uninstall. So one of our biggest selling products is the uninstall and reinstall functionality. So it's the ability to understand that, yes, I've lost a customer, and that customer might have been gone for months, potentially years, but ultimately if and when they're able to be re-engaged, either to re-download the app or to reopen the app, all of that data segmentation is still stored within the Adjust backend. The final point to note on this slide is ad fraud protection. So unfortunately, this is quite a big buzz term in the industry at the moment, and it's causing some concern for clients. It's just the nature of the beast for mobile advertising that there's always going to be fraudsters that follow the dollars. So we have built a suite of sophisticated ad fraud protection tools that try and combat that. So it's not about necessarily just spotting fraud, but it's about preventing it from happening in the first place. So our tools are put in place so that clients can see potentially fraudulent installs, and that can come from completely fake interactions and fake users from fraudsters, or it could potentially come from real users spending real money and real time in apps. But ultimately, the attribution side of things is being stolen by a fraudulent entity. So the tools we put in place are able to combat that and report all of this data back to both the clients and also the partners that we're working with in real time. So just a quick snapshot on some of the tools and features that we provide within the dashboard based on the data that we collect for our clients. So most importantly, clients use the platform to really get a greater understanding of the value of the users that they're generating. So yes, it's pretty easy to understand where these users have come from, what touch points they've focused on previously to the point of install, and also understanding what revenue they could be generating within the app. But what about beyond that? So not just how much money are they spending in the app, how much money are they generating by engaging with ads, for instance? How much money are they generating by sharing the app with their friends, for instance? So all of this is able to be tracked and both displayed within the dashboard and also sent to our clients and partners in real time. So companies and partners like mParticle are able to act on some of this data as well. So one of the key parts of our business and why it's such a success for our clients is that we have, as I mentioned earlier, countless integrations with key partners on behalf of our clients. So what this gives our customers and clients the ability to do is share this first-party, important, rich data with their partners to act on that in a more sophisticated manner. So we've already heard from some of the mParticle guys about how this data segmentation is displayed and categorized in the mParticle platform. And ultimately, the clients that we have in common with mParticle will utilize this relationship that we have and integration that we have with mParticle to do more sophisticated segmentation on mParticle's side. Again, all of this happens in real time, so it automatically syncs install events, in-app events, attribution, as well as user journeys, all within real time for our customers. So how does this look in a pretty basic term? So as I've touched on, the Adjust SDK will always register an install or an event on behalf of the client. We will then record all of that within our internal servers. But again, we'll also share all of the events that are happening for our clients, both to them directly to ingest themselves, or potentially to share with their partners. So in the case of mParticle, whenever we have a client working with ourselves and mParticle, all of the information that the client is generating up to the point of install and post is shared with mParticle in order for them to do more sophisticated segmentation. So this is Adjust today. So I touched on the 1,700 or so partners that we work with. We have just over 3,000 clients as well. And I think the important thing to point out here is how over the 7 years, the style and vertical of clients that have come on board with Adjust has changed quite dramatically. So from the early days when it was the pure in-app marketers, the gaming companies that knew a little bit more than some of the high street brands came on board first. But over the years, we've seen a lot more brick and mortar brands come on and really get to grips with in-app activity. So it's not just about acquiring users and getting to a certain number to show to the head of marketing, but it's about going beyond that. Yes, I've acquired a certain amount of users, but what can I actually do with them moving forward? How do I monetize them? How do I get them in store? How do I get them to purchase more events online? And finally, for me, what is Adjust tomorrow? So today we categorize ourselves as a mobile measurement platform, but we're looking to be a bit more than that. So Adjust has made 2 acquisitions over the last several months. Acquired.io was one that came on board towards the back end of last year, which is a campaign automation platform. So what it allows our clients to do is act on the data that we gather with our partners such as mParticle, and instead of having to individually activate those across their marketing partners, they could do so in one foul swoop within the Adjust platform. And then the final point I make is a company called Unbotify that we acquired. So the clue is somewhat in the name. Unbotify is a bot detection company. So what their proprietary technology allows us to do is understand whether activity happening within an app is actually human or a bot. So a really sophisticated piece of technology that takes in hundreds of different identifiers, such as how individuals interact with their phone, the touch points, the swipe points, the accelerometer of the device, to build out a score to determine whether that user is actually real or otherwise. And some of the common use cases for this are dating apps with fake users, hardcore gaming where there are fraudsters trying to get to a certain level within the app, and so on and so on. And this technology is being brought further upstream to look at how individuals are installing apps, whether they're real or whether they're not. And that's it from me. Thank you.